you want to open up the floodgates, David, or you want to wait a couple minutes still?
Now let's open them up.
All righty.
1, 2, 3.
Hold on to your hats, kids. Here we go.
Yay! Welcome to Meet the Biz. Oh, I love that. So today's going to be really, really fun because we get to interview him a little, but he's going to turn the tables and get to interview you. So you get to be the guest on the show. This man is amazing. I mean, today we are celebrating him like he celebrates all of us all the time. 43 years in the entertainment industry. He is the host of the talk show variety series Richard Skipper Celebrates, 4 Mac Awards, Bistro Award, Cabaret Scenes Magazine for Top of the Century Premier Cabaret Acts. He makes everyone feel like the stars that they are. Mr. Richard Skipper.
Me. Thank you. Thank you.
How is it to be on the other end?
I love being on either side. I love this business. And I love the name of your show, Meet the Biz, because we're always meeting each other on either side. I love being in the theater. I love to entertain. And I love meeting other artists. The word artist is thrown around a lot. And some people, Bette Midler, for example, says the word artist is something that someone earns. But I believe that anyone who creates is an artist. I truly believe that. And I don't think that a lot of people, there are people that put too much emphasis on getting an award, getting a review, being in the top 10, getting that Billboard section. But I believe that if you show up and you're doing the work, that is recognition that needs to be recognized as well. So that's important to me. And that's why I call my show Richard Skipper Celebrates, because I believe that people need to be celebrated just for showing up. And I really think that that's very important.
I love it. And one of the words that you said once or twice during what you just said was believe. And I'm going to throw out a title, The Magic of Believing. You have that. You have a show called The Magic of Believing, right?
Right. That's right. When I was 13 years old, I was reading this book. It's by Claude M. Bristol. And in the book, he says, set your mind on a goal like a homing pigeon and go after it. So I was reading this book on August 5th, 1973. I closed the book and I went in and I said to my mom and dad, 5 years from today, I'm going to go to New York. And my mom and dad looked at me and they said, sure you are. Now, for those of you who don't know, I grew up on a tobacco farm in South Carolina. As far from New York and as far from theater, from show business as anyone could possibly be. But I made up my mind and I said, 5 years from today, I'm going to go to New York. And I did. On the day that I said I was going to arrive in New York.
How old were you?
When I arrived, I was 18 years old.
There you go.
Yes. I didn't know anyone. I had never been to New York. The day that I got on a plane, I had never flown before. Now, did you hear what happened yesterday in Florida?
What? No.
A pilot on a plane passed out. Did you hear this?
No.
And a passenger on the plane landed the plane. He had never flown before. He didn't know anything. He sat down. He got the pilot out of the seat.
Yeah.
He put on the headset, called the control center, and now told them that the pilot had passed out. There was no co-pilot on the plane because it was a small plane.
Yeah.
They told him what to do to land the plane, and this guy landed the plane in Florida yesterday,
Oh,
having
yes.
never flown before.
Right. Oh my God. Well, there you go. The magic of believing.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. He just followed the instructions. They told him what to do, and he did it. So
Oh,
I believe that anything you set your mind on, you can make it happen.
why New York? What was it about New York?
The theater, live performance. I love being in front of an audience.
Yeah.
I love doing this. This is great.
Yeah. When I was reading your wonderful website and your bio and the name, this stage show kept on popping up, and I want to ask why this stage show, Hello Dolly.
Well, it all began with Carol Channing because I was very good friends with Carol.
Oh.
I'll show you. We became very good friends. We are
Oh.
together, and growing up again in South Carolina, watching her on television and seeing her on the Love Boat and the Muppets and late night television and all these things. Little did I know that years later we would become friends. The first time I saw her in person, I literally followed her to Sardi's and I sat at the next table and I eavesdropped, on our conversation. And
Right.
I
Right.
was like a stalker, to tell everyone. But 10 years later, we were having lunch together in New York as friends. So that, again, the magic of believing. I stayed at her home in Palm Springs.
Oh.
We became very good friends. And as a matter of fact, I own some of her costume pieces and everything. I'm selling them now
Yeah.
because I'm downsizing, and they're just hanging in my closet, doing
Right.
anything for me. I want to give them to someone else. And
Right.
I have a friend in California and he wants them. And I said, okay, it took me a while, but I've made the decision to now sell them. So they're going to go to a new home, and that money is going to go to other things. So it's time.
Well, I grew up, of course, loving Carol Channing. And she was so one of a kind. Talk about a one of a kind. And Raz. Oh my God. When she's flying the plane in
Early Modern Millie.
Yes, I love that. Oh my God, that movie. And I was so thankful because I got to see her in Hello Dolly in San Francisco growing up. I only got to meet her once, and it was so wonderful because I haven't been going to the gym as much as I like in my life, but I went to the gym in West Hollywood and I was riding my bike, and then it did my half an hour exercise. I then went to get my little mango shake on the way out. And as I was leaving, I heard this voice and I went, I know that voice. I turned around and there she was, this big, beautiful hair. And she was in a one-piece purple outfit and she was talking, and I just went up to her and I said, thank you so much for the joy you brought me. And she went, oh, thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it's wonderful to hear the relationship you had with her. It brings me joy to hear that.
Well, she was one of a kind. She was a giving. I mean, she lived, she ate, she breathed the theater.
Yeah.
She loved, I've always, and I talk about this, there are entertainers and there are performers.
Yeah.
A performer, to me, is centered on themselves than they are on the audience.
Yeah.
An entertainer is all about the audience. It's about making that audience feel good.
Yeah.
It's all about getting out there and being focused on that audience. And if you're focused on the audience, you are an entertainer. And I went the other night, I went to see Ken Page.
Oh.
You should get Ken Page here.
Oh, I would love that.
Ken Page, I will see what I can do to get him here, because I went to see him the other night, and from the moment that he walked out on stage,
yeah,
tears welled up in my eyes. because because of COVID, it's been over 2 years since I've stepped foot on a stage.
Wow.
And as I stood and as I sat and watched him on stage, I said, that's what I want to do again. I want to be up there doing what he's doing. And I didn't want the show to end. And that's what it's about. I mean, I'm sure that everybody here, when you see a great entertainer,
Yeah.
That person, when they walk out on that stage, you go, oh my God, that's why I want to do this. Everybody in this room here, I'm assuming that everybody here are all artists, and there's someone along the way who touched them in a way that they said, that's what I want to do. And when that person has touched you on a level, and you can't explain it. Last night I watched a documentary on Nina Simone.
Oh,
and if
I love her.
none of you out there know who Nina Simone is,
well, I don't know. There might be a few.
how many? Raise your hands if you know who Nina Simone is. Nina Simone, great singer. And I didn't realize how sad her life was at the end of her life. And I mean, she became very political. And because she became very political, her music, all of her music began to reflect that. And because she was so almost militant in what she wanted to say, her television appearances and everything dried up. Nobody wanted to book her because they were afraid of what she was going to say and everything. And she stopped getting asked to do things. And so she left the country. She went and lived in Africa for a while. And then she went, and then later on, she did a couple of appearances in Switzerland. And, but she said, what freedom is, you can't explain what it is, but you know what it is. You can't explain what love is, but you know what it is. You can't explain what art is, but you know what it is. You can't explain what that euphoria is when you do a great performance, or you're on stage and you're having that great moment. You can't explain it, but when you're experiencing it, either as the person who's giving that, or when you're experiencing it in the audience. I mean, all of us have been transported when we're seeing a great movie, or you hear a great song, or you see a great painting, and you well up, and tears well up in your eyes because you say, that is so beautiful, or that song is so beautiful, or something. It's just something that fills us up with joy. That's what it's about.
Well, your show, I mean, your Richard Skipper Celebrates is so joyful to watch it, because you wrap your energy around that person. You take them in and you make the spotlight on them. I'm gonna ask maybe one more question. Then we have so many artists here who would love to be interviewed by you. Have a question or two. And so those just coming up, those who want to be interviewed, be sure to put your little hand up, the automatic hand there, and we'll start calling up. But you've interviewed so many people, and I know this is, the first part of this is like, it's so hard to say, oh, well, I love this interview or that interview. Is there an interview that comes to your mind that, let's say right now, if you thought of one interview that you did, not that was your favorite or whatever, one interview, and the second part of that is, who is one person that you would say, oh my God, this is the person I want to interview?
Well, my favorite interview was David Zimmerman. I mean, how could it not be? Yeah, and the one interview that I want is Barbra Streisand.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, she's got a book coming out. So if anyone, if you've got the connections, David, Barbra Streisand, and I mean, it's so funny because I've had Rosalind, as you know, on the show,
our dear friend,
and for a long time, Rosalind and I had a mutual friend who just passed away. And when our mutual friend passed away, the night that she passed away,
Yeah.
I'm gonna choke up about this. Um, Roslyn called the moment that she heard that our friend had passed away. And that meant the world to me, that Roslyn Kine picked up the phone and called me to say, Richard, our dear friend Barbara passed away.
Yeah.
And because Roslyn and I are not friends in the sense of friends. She was someone that I interviewed.
Yeah.
But the fact that one interview and Barbara, our friend Barbara Sickman, was the one who got that interview. And I'm sure that Roslyn, is cautious about a lot of interviews because everyone wants to ask about the sister. And Barbara Sickman said, he's not going to ask you about your sister. Don't worry about it because I know Richard. And so Roslyn brings up her sister.
Mm.
And I said, you have a sister? And Roslyn kept bringing up the sister. But I'm interested, if I'm interviewing someone,
yeah,
I want to know their story. I'm not interested in the family dynamics. I'm not interested in gossip. I'm not interested in all these other things. Obviously, that's part of the story. But it's up to them to bring those elements out.
Mm.
I want to know your story. But I sincerely mean that when I say you're a great interview.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I always enjoy hanging out with you. And
yeah, you too.
And
I heard a rumor that you're coming to New York.
You did?
I heard that on the street. I heard 54th Street the other night.
Where?
On 54th Street.
Okay, now I've got to know how you found this out. That I bought tickets. I bought tickets for the new Jamie Brewer show.
No, I was at Ken Page's show.
Yeah.
And Steven Brenberg mentioned. Now, how do you know Steven Brenberg?
I met him years ago. I'm trying to remember where I met him. I saw his show. Yeah. I saw his show, and then I know now. Okay, I was in the first time I went to Vegas in '93 to see Barbra Streisand, and I was with two friends, and we're walking on the street, and then there's these three other guys walking on the street, and all of a sudden we both looked at each other's shirts and said, oh, "I love your shirt." and that's the first time I met him. So
okay,
of course, seeing Barbara.
Yes. Well, so you are coming to New York?
I'm coming to New York. I'm going to be there. When I found out that our dear friend Jamie Brewer, as we all know from American Horror Story, and she won the award on Broadway a couple of years ago for the other show that she did, which of course my mind goes whip right now. But when I heard she was going to do another lead on Broadway, I had to be there. That was one of the best experiences of my life, to see somebody dear to me, a dear friend, and you're sitting in the second row, and I'm just bawling because there she is on a Broadway stage. It's just, yeah, I was kvelling. That's yes. The word of the day.
Yes.
I want to get out of your way because there's so many people who want to connect with you. So I'm gonna back out, and I'll just bring people on for you, and we'll, a question or two, and then we'll move to the next person. And have fun, everybody, because Richard's amazing. Well, we have here today this woman I've known for so many years, I'd say over 20 years, and she's a wonderful actress, Miss Shannon Dierex.
Hey.
Okay. Hi, Shannon. Hey. I don't see you on the spotlight yet. Oh, hi, Shannon.
Oh,
hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to meet you.
Yeah.
So, what is it about this business that you loved about the business?
Well, my favorite kind of business has become my professional actor, and I like to become a singer.
Oh, great. Do you have a favorite singer?
I do. You know Mary Rings.
Oh yeah, I love Mary Rings. I've had Mary Rings on my show.
Yeah. And I do like David Zimmerman and Barbara Streisand.
Okay, well, Barbara Streisand. Let's face. I have a show about Barbara Streisand. Maybe David will send, or he'll get the link to you, so you can see that we did a tribute to her a few weeks ago. So, do you remember the first time you heard Barbara Streisand sing?
She sings Send in the Clowns.
"Sin and the Clowns." One of my favorite. Is that your favorite song that she sings?
Yeah.
I thought my phone was off. Well, it's going to ring, and I'm sorry.
It might be Barbara.
It might be Barbara. I thought my phone was off. Let me turn off my phone. I'm going to just turn off my phone. Bear with me 1 second.
Shannon, I just have to tell you one thing. Thank
What?
you for mentioning me with two
Yeah.
wonderful artists,
Yeah.
with Barbara and Mary.
Yeah.
Barbara Streisand and Mary Rings, to be mentioned in the same breath as that.
That was Mary Rings calling me to sing. No, sorry about that. I thought my phone was off. So, so is there a particular song that you love singing above all others?
My favorite song I like to sing is Day by Day.
Wow. From Godspell?
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because last night I was at a celebration in New York celebrating Stephen Schwartz. He got an award, and they didn't sing Day by Day, which I was disappointed about, but they did a lot of songs. They did a few songs from Godspell, and Day by Day was his first song that hit the top 20 songs. And it was unusual because it was from an off-Broadway show, Godspell, and which I didn't know. When Paul Schaefer told the story last night, that song was recorded by the original off-Broadway company, and it became a big hit. But I love that song too. So where would you, you want to be a singer. Have you ever thought of doing a cabaret show?
Well, I like Broadway.
You want to go right to Broadway?
Yes.
Is there a particular role that you'd like to play?
Well, my favorite play, it has to be Robin from Godspell.
Have you ever done Godspell?
I really want to try it for it.
So David?
Yes.
And Mary, I think Mary Rings, I think the two of you should get a production of Godspell going on.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Oh, I do too. And I want to come out to see it.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing Shannon in it. So Mary Rings, that's your next show, Godspell. The board to act players.
That's right. Yes, it's gonna happen.
Thank you, Shannon.
Welcome.
So Shannon, before we move on,
Okay.
Shannon, do you have anything you want to ask me?
Oh, if you what is your favorite actor?
My favorite actor, David Zimmerman. No. There's so many actors that I love. My favorite actor, that's funny. I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know that there's a particular actor that
Or I have another one.
Okay.
It's gonna be very easy for you.
Okay.
What is your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Yeah.
Green. But I'll tell you, I had a green curtain behind me. And I'm going to tell everybody, do not put green curtains behind you.
Right.
Because it was making me turn red. Did you know this? All my shows, my face was bright red. And I did all this research to find out that the curtains were turning me. Did you know this, David?
No, I thought it was sort of more of a you know, you'll have other things floating in the background because that's what it does for
Well, that's like a green screen.
green screen.
But the green curtains that I had, because the color of the year is supposed to be green,
Yeah.
that the color of the shade of green was a bad shade of green. So I went with emerald, which in my face looked like I was and I don't want to offend anyone when I say this, but I looked like a drunken Irishman. My face was so red, my cheeks were red, and every show that I did, I was so frustrated.
You look like a maraschino cherry.
I looked like a maraschino cherry. That's exactly what it was. In every show, and I was adjusting my lights. I bought this. It's called an Elgato light, and I invested a lot of money in this light. Hopefully, I look okay today.
You look great.
I changed the curtains, and it changed everything.
Well,
So,
I loved your choice of curtains. It's sparkly.
So I went back to the blue. Yeah. Shannon, it's great. And Shannon, feel free to take my email address. You'll get it from David. And if you have any questions or anything, reach out to me anytime. I mean,
I will.
And that's true from everybody. Stay in touch.
Okay.
Oh, I love
Okay.
it. Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks.
I love visiting with the family. Hey, let's grab Mr. Mark Pulver. He has written a book, and he's on his second book, and he's a performer. Mark Pulver.
Hello, Mr. Richard Skipper. How are you? Can you all hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you. How are you, Mark?
Okay, I'm really honored, and it's a pleasure to meet you. I moved from Florida, which you mentioned about that, that magnificent miracle landing by somebody who never plane from Miami, Florida originally. I wrote a book and I sent a copy, a picture of it to David. It's called Living Life with Autism, The World Through My Eyes. When I learned that I was autistic, I had a story, that I wanted to write. And I am a huge advocate for people with disabilities. I'd like to go and help and talk about my experience and uplift them from their adversities and turn their negatives into progress, the dreams, goals, success, living a normal life, to driving a car, getting a job, even being able to raise a family of their own. So I was referred to this place called Performing Arts Studio West, which I'm attending, and I think, wow, this is interesting. But do I really want to move to the opposite end of the coast to the other, which was Florida to Los Angeles? I says, what have I got to lose? I'll still have my condo back there. If it doesn't work out, lo and behold, I've made so many connections. One of my goals is to advocate for people with disabilities. I'm writing a second book of poetry. I'm writing music. I'm doing. I've been doing pop, and now I'm doing a country song. And I had thought about two ideas. One idea that I had is like with people like the Born This Way, but going outside of the box and just having some kind of a TV reality show where I can just be on there and advocate for people instead of an audience of 50 to maybe 100 people, to around the world can just actually see just what Mark Pulver is made of. And I'm looking. I have a draft. I sent it to David of a Hallmark movie, that I would like to produce about this woman that's deaf with Down syndrome that was thrown on the street by their ex, and they're like living, in the cold, hard winters of Harlem, New York. Well, she's smart and intuitive and learns to survive on the streets with her 2-year-old kid, and just makes friends at the food bank. Now she meets this guy who's this is all strictly my ideas, not copyrighted from anything, that's ahead of a development projects. And the higher ups want him to tear down the center where this girl is going, going every day with her daughter as resources for the disabled. However, they met somewhere, I haven't figured out where, and just basically had a rapport. And so like he's faced with a tough decision, either blow or deal, or just use or lose the relationship that he has with this girl. And he's just basically very, very torn. I haven't figured out the rest, but there's just so many things that I would want to achieve. And maybe at some point, we can have a lunch or a phone conversation. I would really like to basically talk to you a little bit more in depth when you have the time, Mr. Skipper.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love that. That's great. So, I mean, where are you right now as far as your second book is concerned?
Oh, I'm doing a second book is with poetry. I'm writing a book of poetry, and somebody within the, within PASW is helping me implementing and putting that together for me. So I'm really excited about that. And the music, that I'm writing, and my day doesn't stop from about 7, 8 in the morning, sometimes to like 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm just entrenched with everything. I'm just like, plus in addition to all the classes that I'm taking, the Zoom classes, and then there's videos that I have to watch. I think to myself every minute, well, what am I going to do next? I'm just like every single day I'm on hyperspeed, but I get my kicks and thrive in helping others with disabilities lift out of lift away from adversity. So this is where I'm at with this, and that's just a little about me, basically, in a nutshell.
Well, Mark, you really are inspiring. That's really incredible. God bless you. That's really
And
wonderful.
I would like to get your email. I will when I reach out to you. Maybe are you living in Los Angeles?
No, I'm in New York.
Okay, maybe we can at some point in time set up a Zoom at
Yeah,
your
David,
convenience.
I don't mind that at all. David will get my information to you. I'd love to talk to you.
Okay, it's been a pleasure and a privilege.
You
Thank
too.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
I'm privileged that I
I'll see
got
what
to
I can
speak to
do.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
Well, we have somebody here from the East Coast. This woman was one of the stars of the TV show Away and also Love You More. And she's from Boston, right, Felicia?
Yes.
Felicia Patty.
Hi.
Hi, Felicia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, where are you now? Where do you live?
I live in Boston.
So, what part of the business are you in?
I'm an actor.
Are you doing anything right now?
Not right now because it's hard because there's no roles for people with Down syndrome yet, but I'm still being patient about it.
Well, we got to change that. Sometimes when they're no. Last night, I had 2 of the original Harlettes on the show.
Oh,
Yes, and we were talking about Bette Midler, and Bette Midler was doing Fiddler on the Roof on Broadway, and she was bored doing the same thing, and she didn't feel that there were any roles for her, so she created her own show.
yeah.
Oh wow.
And that's how that's how the show, create write your own show, get out there and, let the world know who you are, and, and do it yourself instead of waiting for those roles to come to your way.
Yeah, maybe I should.
And you've got someone like Mark here, who's a writer, get Mark to write something wonderful for you.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah. I think that's sad. Do you have any questions for me?
I'm trying to think. I know that you live in New York, but
Mhm.
but do you ever heard this guy named Josh Charles?
Josh
Charles.
Josh Charles?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Is he an actor himself?
yeah. He was on my show on
Oh, okay.
Away, and he was on a TV show called The Good Wife.
Okay. Oh, okay. I know The Good Wife.
Yeah, he was in that.
And have you remained in touch with each other?
Yeah, we do once a month.
Okay, good for you. That's good.
Mhm.
Well, I wish you lots of luck. You and Mark stay in touch with each other. I think there's a show right there waiting right here. Create something. Don't
Yeah.
wait for them to call you. Send them something and say, this is what we want to do.
I
Make it
really
happen.
want to. I really want to be on my favorite show called General Hospital.
Have you reached out to them?
Not I contact this person named Maurice Bernard. He was on my Instagram account, and I been messaging him and stuff. But I have to go to a casting director named Mark Teschner, and
Mhm.
I've been talking and stuff, but he said not yet.
Have they had a storyline with a character with Down syndrome?
No, not yet. But they have someone with autism.
Well, it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
Mark, get in touch with them. Tell them it's time. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
That's how these things happen. Don't wait for these things to happen, because if you wait, you'll wait and wait and wait. Right, David?
Oh yeah, you gotta go out there, do your
Yeah.
thing.
Get out there and make it happen.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm glad to be here today. This is nice.
Mm. Well, we have an Emmy winner here today. His show was on for, I think, 5 years, and he's a singer, a rapper. He is an actor, reality star, John Tucker.
Yo, what's up, y'all? What's up? What's up,
Hi,
Jay?
John.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing great. So with all of those hats that you wear that he just
Okay.
mentioned, which one is your favorite?
Going to the Emmy Awards. You know.
Going to the Emmy Awards. So
Yeah.
so where is your Emmy?
It's in the other room though. Right now. But actually, the thing of it is, I was on stage representing the Emmy Awards to other famous actors but to other actors and actresses on stage with my cast member. So that was really cool to be doing that. You know, everybody saw that opportunity for me to go out there and represent the Emmy Awards. So, and that opened doors to different, and because of that, I mean, I swear, when I tell you this, the doors were open for so many opportunities for me in the music area. You know, I had to like travel everywhere, concerts back to back, you know, back and forth, you know, and so, and that's how I landed that role for Love Me More with Bonnie Actress, members, whatever. So it was cool. It was really cool. You know, it's just like, okay, you know, and my family there was like, yo, we have a superstar in our family. So I'm like, okay.
Yes, good for them. Good for you. So when that happened for you, what was the biggest change that did for you?
The biggest change for me was that, you know, because I have a disability. I have Down syndrome. That's my disability. And you never see any TV shows with a disability kid or disability child. You know what I'm saying? Like so that is on now. Like you see what like Martin living single, Friends, the Parkers, what else? The Parkers are Fat Albert or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They don't have those episodes where they have disability kids or disability adults in those movies. They never had a show where, they never had a show like Born This Way. Born This Way was the first, number one first, Born This Way was the first, number one first to have a disability show like that. You know what I'm saying? So for us to have a show just for us, it was just like, okay, so like, okay, what's up? So it was cool though because we never had shows like that before, and so I was just like, you know what, we got to represent people with like for the show, we had to represent adults with disabilities. Like with BJ, you know, he has a disability, so it's just kind of like we got to represent. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how it was for us, you know. And I'm the first one to become a rapper, even though I'm Down syndrome. But you know, I mean, you know, me, I just be like, you know what? I'll tell you this. I'm on TikTok every day, and I let them know all those haters out there, all those haters hate whatever you want to hate and stuff. Even though I have a disability, it's not going to stop me. It's not going to tell me I can't do whatever I want to do. Because guess what? I'm going to be me. And I'm going to say what I got. You know what I'm saying?
And you're about love, John. You're not about hate.
Nah. Haters can, haters can hate, but lovers can love. You know what I'm saying?
John, you've got to teach me how to get on TikTok because I don't know the first thing about TikTok.
You know, everybody's doing TikTok nowadays. Like me, BJ, all of us doing TikTok, and I be rapping. And
Well, I want to ask you something, John, because about rap. So does rap does it just come easily to you?
It does. It really do.
So if I were to ask you to do a rap about what we're doing today, can you come up with a rap about this right now?
You know what? I'm gonna say what I got. You're gonna be so amazed. I'm gonna tell you this.
And can you do a rap and put it on TikTok about Meet the Biz?
Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah! I'm gonna say what I got over here, and give me a beat. Let's do Raji. Wait, Raji. Beat. Instrumental. You know, I'm gonna say what I got. I'm not playing. I'm gonna say what I got. Yeah. Come on. Well, yeah.
Gallery view.
Come on, Missy. Meet the Biz. Meet the Biz. Meet the Biz. Come on, yo. We on Zoom. So meet the Biz with Zimmerman and his special guests over here for so well. We got everybody over here on the Zoom with a boom. Yeah, that's how we do it. Everybody know how we roll. It's the PSW, meet the Biz. Don't hate on this. No saying, yo, keep it real. We gonna do this up in here. You may see me on the TV, so Born This Way. But I guess what? I'm on the Zoom right now. My boy TikTok BJ. Number see man, keep it real, don't stray. Yeah, we all meet the Biz. Meet the Biz with like that. With like that. With like big news that. with a special guest. That's how you do it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we got a new theme song for Meet the Biz.
And that's how we do it, baby.
Oh my God.
Was that a first?
I love it.
Oh
John,
my God, I love it. Oh my God, John, you gotta send that to me. I gotta find you on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah, my TikTok is I'm gonna see what my TikTok is. Let me show you. Cause I got so many followers on TikTok. I mean, I got like how many we got hold on, I gotta show you what I got on here. Wait, hang on, oops, that's not it. I got like 309,019 likes on TikTok already. So, and then my idea is from the hit TV show Bonus Ray and Dharma Studios actor rapper MC Down.
Darman. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like John Tucker Bonus Ray TikTok. So yeah, that's me right there.
Oh, good for you. Well,
So yeah, I'm on TikTok every day.
good for you.
Every day.
Well, thank you, John. That was great. I think we're gonna have to patent that song and put it on the show.
Whoa!
Oh my
Yes,
God.
buddy.
All right.
Yes.
I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God.
Oh,
that's the best.
John, you there? Okay. Hey,
Did we
we've
lose
got
him?
that was great. That was wonderful.
Now you can't afford him.
I know. That's gonna be a lot.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
John, this is wonderful.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
we've got somebody else here today visiting from the Meet the Biz family, Gary Tewksbury.
Oh, hey. Hello, Richard. Nice to meet you.
You too, Gary. Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
So where are you?
I am in New Hampshire, actually.
New Hampshire.
Yes,
Wow,
very
we're getting them all
small.
today. Yeah, well,
Yes.
I've performed in New Hampshire a few times. I performed in Manchester at the Palace Theater.
The Palace,
So,
yep, I've been there.
yeah. So, no, tell us about your corner of the sky, to
My
quote
corner of the
Stephen
sky?
Schwartz again. Yeah.
I'm in Concord. It's very small. I am a trained voice actor. I'm just starting to audition in the last 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a script writer. I've been taking some courses online. And I'm working on a couple of scripts. And I recently auditioned to write a script for a true crime podcast last week.
Wow. Good for you.
So that's pretty exciting. I'm also a caregiver for my dad, so I balance the two things together.
Now, have you always lived in New Hampshire?
I've been back here for 8 years. I grew up here, but I lived in North Carolina before that and Denver, Colorado.
No, where in North Carolina?
I lived in the Raleigh area.
Okay. I'm originally from South Carolina, so I know.
Yes, I heard you saying that. Yes.
Yeah. And where you lived in Denver as well?
I lived in Denver. Yep. Yeah. I've been back here for 8 years.
Is it
And
because
it was
of your
nice to grow
father?
up here. I'm
Was
sorry,
it
what?
Was it because of your father that you went back?
No, I wanted to come back. I missed some people, and my niece was born. My friend had a baby,
Mhm.
which is the wonderful thing about here. My dad actually got sick while I was here, and my friend died a little before that I hadn't seen for a long time.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And I used to have a business here, so it's not very private here for me personally, but it's my dad's home, so
Right.
I stayed.
Okay, well, I'm sure that because of social media and everything now that you're able to do all that you want to do from New Hampshire, has it had
Yes.
hindrance on your career at all? Or are you finding
Mm.
that because of social media, you have the opportunities that you want to pursue the way you want to?
No, that door behind me is my recording studio,
Oh, good. Good.
which is in my bedroom.
Good.
And I have laptops over there, an iPad, a Kindle, 2 music stands. So it's actually, the internet's a wonderful thing. And during the pandemic, I got to discover David and the performing arts studio West Family, which has been truly a gift for me.
Great. How did you get involved with the Meet the Biz? How did you first, become acquainted with David?
I found him on YouTube, actually. I found the entire PASW channel on YouTube, and I looked at all the great work he was doing and his great interviews, and I was like, I need to check this out more. And
Mhm.
I've been invited to several of them. I was also invited to take a few acting lessons, which was really nice of David to invite me.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's been a wonderful experience for me.
Now, with all that you're doing, is there a particular area that you gravitate towards more than others?
Most of the time, I like to write a script because I feel like I have more control.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I have been a paid writer before also. I have been
Right.
a professional ghostwriter for about 2 years that I did earlier before the pandemic. So I've worked from home a lot. I tend to like my privacy. I know here I am with all these people, but I tend to like my privacy.
Now, well, this next question may be an interesting question, but when you're writing a script, are you writing with yourself in mind, or are you always writing with another person in mind?
A little bit of both, actually. I'm writing a short series, and one of the characters is based on me, but I also
Mhm.
think about just different traits that people have and what might make them more interesting,
Now,
whether likable or not likable, but more interesting.
have you always been in this business, or is it something that you've come back to later on in life?
I've come back to later on in life. I used to own a small bookstore, and then I dated someone who was very wealthy. I'm not embarrassed to say. We had a great
Oh,
time.
that's okay. There's nothing
um,
embarrassing about that.
no, it was a great experience. And then unfortunately, my grandparents passed away, but I sold a property. So I kind of got several years to mess around, which was kind of nice, not to brag. But now as a grown up, I have to really get it together, as they say.
I don't know what that means.
I said they say it. I didn't say I said it.
Okay, good. Well, do you have any questions for me?
Yes. What is it that draws you to show business so much and the love of it? Because I've watched your show a few times on YouTube. You have the same love of it that David does. So what draws you to it?
Curiosity. I think
Mhm.
I'm interested in. I just love. For me, it's like there's whether you call it chemistry or alchemy or whatever. It to me, it's the collaboration of this business.
Mhm.
Even if it's one person that's on that stage, it's never one person. There are a myriad of people that come together to create that. When you look at someone like Liza Minnelli, for example, Liza Minnelli is the creation of Kander and Ebb and Halston and the lighting designers and all these people who created the Liza Minnelli that we have come to know and love. Barbara Streisand
Mm.
is the creation of all the people and all of the elements that have led her to where she is now. She is the culmination of all of the people that she's encountered throughout her career to where she is right now. And to me, it's not just that moment of that person walking on that stage at that moment and just being there. It's all of these elements coming together, and that's what it's all about for me. It's how did that person get from point A to point B to point C and beyond. So it's the curiosity for me, and to me, it's all about collaboration. Um, when for me, it's those first moments as a kid when you are in community theater and you see how a show comes together and you see all of the elements. Most kids go into theater wanting to be a star in a show, but if you're lucky enough to work in a theater, uh, and it's the same thing with summer stock and repertory theater and all those theaters, that we don't have the luxury anymore of what it was really like to work in summer stock. And David, I don't know if you ever did summer stock theater or repertory theater or any of those things, but when you did those things, uh, you swept the floors, you cleaned the bathrooms, you collected tickets at the box office. You did whatever it took to keep that theater going. And as a result, you realized that it wasn't just about standing in the center spotlight. It's all of those things. And when you do those things in the theater, you get such an appreciation for what all these people do. And for me, that's what it's about. I don't know if I've answered your question or not.
No, you did. That's
But to me,
great.
it's, you know, and David, do you want to weigh in on that as well?
I love that. I mean, I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I went to San Francisco State University, and there was this theater company that everybody wanted to get into in drama, and it's called the Brown Bag Theater. And we did 5 shows a semester, and it was like one after the other, plus some overlapped. And then you're doing a main stage production at the same time. So I was doing Endgame, and I was being I was in Nuts before the movie came out. I played Dr. Rosenthal. So they changed his name for the movie. But it was just a blast. And like you said, Richard, too, it's to do all these things, to be active in you know, doing the props, doing the this, that, the other, just working together, and as you say, collaboration.
Mm-hmm. So that's that. So that's what it's about for me, Carrie.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, David.
And thanks
Thank
for watching
you,
the show.
Jerry.
That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Oh, you know, something came up in my mind while you guys were discussing. Richard, what brings you the most joy in life?
What brings me, well, you know, I'm very, very fortunate because I have a great husband. I have a great home life. We have a great dog who's sleeping in the next room. I have great friends. Oh my God. I have friends that have been part of our lives, you know, for 30 plus years, friends that have been, I mean, nothing, as much as I love this business, which I love, one of my favorite things is to have a dinner party and have people from different walks of life. You know, I've got people that are not in the business at all. My husband is a landscape architect. He's got friends that are not in the business. And when we have friends over, we're not talking shop. We're not talking about show business and people in the business. We do have those dinners too, you know, where we've just got, you know, for his birthday, you know, I'll drop some names. We had Leroy Reams here, and Anita Gillette was here, and KT Sullivan, and we were all sitting around, and we have those nights here.
Yeah.
But then there are nights when we have people that are not here, but to have a dinner party, and you know, and I write, you know, like with my shows, I write questions on their name cards, and I mix them up, and I make them sit at different spots, so they're not necessarily sitting next to their partner.
Right.
Putting 10 people at a table, and then going around and having random questions before we sit down and have our dinner, and ask them about a favorite memory, or a person that is no longer with us, that a favorite memory of that person or something. Just to have that conversation. You know, going out to dinner with friends and not allowing these things at our table. When I go to dinner, these are not allowed.
Good.
You know, because I love conversation, as you can tell.
Right.
I'm interested in people. I want to know what makes you, what are you interested in? What makes you tick? Anyone who follows me on Facebook, and feel free to follow me on Facebook, any of you, social media, any of these things. If you follow me on Facebook, you will find very few posts about, literally, that's my dog right there. my postings are about other people, about things in the news, about this. If this is what you do, that's fine with me. But the narcissism that so many people post, the me, that's not me.
Yeah.
It's all about other people that I'm posting as who I am.
No, that's gorgeous. I'm there with you. I'm all about everyone and connecting and the family. Like this, every time I'm here, I've just
and I want to go a step further. It's funny because I mentioned earlier that I've got these costume pieces that I'm starting to sell off, and I've got posters, and there are a lot of things that one of my very best friends in the world just recently passed away in December, and she asked me several years ago to be the executor of her will, and I said sure. Never thinking in a million years that I would have to do this.
Yeah.
So when she passed away, all of a sudden I'm thrust into this world that I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
And it's a total learning curve, talking about getting out of your comfort zone and having to learn something completely different, and having to be responsible for disposing of her personal items and going through every aspect of a lifetime of her, which is a very interesting to go through. So as I am now, 61 years old, and I'm just going to throw caution to the wind. As much as I'd like to, I don't think I'm going to be around another 61 years. The things that matter to me is this. It's human connection. I want life experiences. I don't want material things.
Isn't that weird how this has happened to me, especially in the last several years, especially since I had my massive heart attack? That shifted my perspective. I mean, about the materialistic things. I mean, sure, it's nice to have a few items it's like, oh, that reminds me of my dad, or the ring, or this or that. But all that stuff, I used to collect this and that and the other. And I'm like, a lot of it I just gave away, or I donated, or I, some stuff I hadn't even opened. So I gave it as gifts to people who I knew. But it is about the human connection, the experiences that we live. Me too. Yeah.
That's what I want. It's those things. Let's connect with each other.
Well, we have a few more people to connect with here today.
Okay, good.
I know there's a bunch of hands. Again, if you want to speak, we'll try to get as many of you in as possible. I see Luke Zimmerman here. Luke Zimmerman.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Skipper?
Hi, Luke.
You were on a show for 5 years, Luke.
Yeah, well, it's called The Secret Life of the American Teenager. I do not say it out because it's called Secret.
Okay.
But I did a series on Amazon Prime with Patty. It's on Tucker called Love You More too.
Okay.
So I did that. But my question is to you, Mr. Skipper.
Okay.
Is how is working on a Broadway stage?
I have to tell you, I have never worked on a Broadway stage.
Really?
Really.
But what about the cabaret?
I mean, I've worked on cabaret. I've worked on some major stages. I have been very, very fortunate. I have done concert stages. Last night, as I was watching this, I mentioned earlier, Nina Simone. I was watching this. I performed at Carnegie Hall.
Wow.
And to sing on stage at Carnegie Hall as I was watching Nina Simone last night, and in seeing her on stage, she performed at Carnegie Hall in 1963. Now, this is life. This is the irony of life, everybody. Nina Simone, when she was a little girl, her mom made her take piano lessons. So she grew up taking piano lessons. So she studied and she studied and she studied. And so she didn't have a lot of friends growing up because she studied 9 hours a day.
Mm.
So when she finished high school, she went to Juilliard. She left Juilliard. She goes to Pennsylvania. She was rejected from going to conservatory because she was Black. So she goes to Atlantic City and she gets a job working in Atlantic City and playing in a piano lounge. And the guy told her that she could not have the job unless she sang. This woman had never sung before.
Mm.
So to get the job, she starts singing, and it changed the trajectory of her life. So she starts singing, and of course, she has this incredible voice, various octaves. This career takes off. And as a result of this, several years later, she gets booked at Carnegie Hall.
Mm.
And
Wow.
her dream was to play at Carnegie Hall as a concert pianist. But she is booked at Carnegie Hall as a pop singer.
Mm.
And she was depressed over this
Mm.
because she felt that she was not living her dream as a
Oh.
concert pianist. So even though there she was performing at Carnegie Hall, it wasn't deep down inside fulfilling what her dream was. So it's funny how things happen in your life. You dream of certain things, and then they come away. There are people who open on Broadway shows who were miserable. And so you have to know deep down inside, and there are people who never make it to Broadway who were completely happy in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that the core of what you're doing, and it's the work that's important, not the ultimate goal of getting there. And I mean, I came to New York with Broadway, 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 Broadway. But
Really?
as time went on, it became about the work for me. And Broadway, maybe it'll happen someday, maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm not pursuing that end of the business anymore, at least right now. But performing on stage at Carnegie Hall was truly one of the highlights of my life.
That's good. Good. Very good.
That's
Yeah.
And
gorgeous.
I think I'm going to say the last question. What happened to your fan? I'm sorry. But how is this working with her?
Oh, with working with Carol Channing?
Yes.
Oh, well, the first time, it was very interesting that the first time that I shared a stage with Carol Channing, Carol had gone through she was going through a very difficult time in her life. Her marriage ended badly, and she had not performed in a while. So I got a call asking if I would be, they were going to do a celebration of her life in San Francisco. And they asked me if I would be interested in being a part of this concert. And of course, I jumped at it. And so, but by the time they got around to Carol doing it, we were going to do a number together. She was afraid to perform at that time because she was afraid that audiences would not think she was good enough anymore because she had not performed in several years. So I walked out and I'm performing. This was with the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, but I was there as a solo artist. So I'm on stage performing. And as I was performing, Carol Channing walked out on stage with me. And it was, the audience, of course, went crazy. And then Carol, at the end, when she came out to take her bow, she walked out and she grabbed my hand. We walked to the footlights and we took our bows together. And she insisted that every picture that was taken, that we had our pictures taken together. So that was really an incredible evening. So, and from that moment on, I mean, she was always there for me. And I was very, very fortunate to have her as a
Yeah, I know how you miss her a lot. You know, I know about her very much. She did a lot of movie stuff and TV stuff. She's an
Well,
amazing actress. I know you miss her a lot. I miss her too.
I miss her. Yeah.
what a story. I mean, it shows too. And you know, it's interesting. Great question, Luke.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's interesting too to see is how even the stars, the big stars like Carol, have that insecurity,
Mhm.
have that feeling of like, am I good enough? Will people still like me, and this and that? And it's interesting how we all go through that.
Well, again, I mean, this documentary, Nina, was, and they didn't realize this until years later. She was bipolar.
Wow.
Wow.
And so she would walk into, she would turn on her audience. If someone
Wow.
spoke,
Right.
she would stop singing. And she would say, stop, 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 stop. And she would yell at the audience.
Wow.
And they showed a clip of her in a concert, and somebody got up to walk out, I guess, because the camera's on her. And
Yeah,
she
yeah.
said, stop, stop, sit down. I'm not going on until you sit down. And she would not go on.
Wow.
And she was very angry with people.
Yeah.
Yes, but this business is so. I will tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I have been so fortunate, and you too, David. We both are very fortunate to do what we do, that we get a chance to break bread, to talk with these celebrities. And I'd like your perspective as well.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I've learned is, and I've interviewed some of the biggest names in this business, they're people. They are just people, and they have the same insecurities. I mean, before we go live, I hear their frustrations. They're worried about how they're going to look, how they're going to come across, whether they're going to have the, they are, and then I hear their answers and how they are perceived in this business.
Yeah.
One of the Harlettes last night, Charlo, that I spoke with.
Yeah.
Do you know Charlo?
Yes. In fact, I just sent her a invitation for Meet the Biz last week. So I'm
She's
hoping.
incredible. I hope she does it. Oh my God. But I asked her last night, what is one of the things about this business that you totally don't understand?
Yeah.
And she said the fact that you're still having to prove yourself. With everything that she's done, still having to prove yourself. And it's the same thing with me. Do you feel that with yourself as well?
Oh, yeah. It's just, I mean, I haven't had a, huge, large career, but every time you go out there, it's like right now we've got Honey Bunny in the film festival circuit. So it's fun to, we booked it. We got another one. We got another award. But then there's sometimes that it's like, oh, I want to go to this film festival, and you don't get in. And it's like, so, I haven't given that feeling up. It's like, luckily I've learned to, or I'm learning, sometimes I still go there. I'm learning that if you don't get something or people don't like it, not everybody's going to like everything. You just say, okay, and you move on to the next thing. But you have those goals in mind that you want in life, and you just keep going.
A friend of mine says rejection is God's protection.
Ooh, that's a beautiful one.
I like that.
I like that too. I know we have just a few, maybe about 10, 15 more minutes.
Okay.
Thank
you, Luke. Those were great questions.
Yes. I want to get, I know.
Is there any relation, by the way? Are you guys?
That's what I asked him. I said, are we related? And we're related through this family.
Okay.
No, I celebrate Hanukkah. He celebrates Christmas. So, not the same genes that we know about, but
okay.
We're on the Earth family. I know that he can't do the little yellow hand here, but I know that he always says, "Hey, hey, I want to speak. I want to get on there. And he's so talented. He's so brilliant. Mr. Antonio T-Bone Williams.
How you doing?
Hi there. How are you?
How are you? I have a few questions for you.
Okay. I hope I have the answers.
I used to do radio for El Camino College,
Okay.
and I would like to know what is the best experience that you would give me since do you do radio?
Well, nowadays, everybody can do podcast. You can create your own podcasts right from your own home. You can create it. Blog Talk Radio is a great source. Do you know anything about Blog Talk Radio?
No, but 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 I would love to learn because I did, like I said, I don't just do radio. I'm a rapper just like John Tucker, and I sing. And but my my biggest question that I have for you have you ever been have you ever worked with somebody behind the scenes? Cause I do production and I'm a rapper and I'm a let's just say I'm a jack of all trades.
Good for you. I have to tell you, I am like a one-man band. With all that I do on this show, trying to get to the next level is difficult because there's so many people doing what we're doing nowadays. And COVID really opened the floodgates. Everybody is doing a podcast. Everyone's doing a live stream. Everybody's doing, Facebook Lives. Everybody's doing something. The best thing to do is to say, this is what I want to do. This is what I am going to create. And hopefully people are going to show up. And if it makes you happy, if it gives you joy, go after it. That's what I do. I've created this platform on YouTube. It's now I hired a guy as a YouTube manager. My numbers are starting to really take off through the efforts of this guy who is brilliant. The greatest investment that I've made in my career so far. Hopefully, I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to get sponsors and investors and people, because I am doing this now for a little over 2 years, and I'm not making any money at this.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. And what I do is expensive. It's very expensive. And I have a team of people that are volunteering because they believe in me. But nothing would make me happier than to have them all on a payroll. That's my dream.
But I have one more question for you.
That's okay. You can ask as many as you'd like.
What would you say for me to what advice would you give me? Because I enjoy being a singer and a rapper, but my biggest thing I would love to be a person that's behind the camera, because I do production for performing arts, and I love my music. I love my music more than anything, but I love being behind the scenes, working with the camera. Like I said, I'm the jack of all trades, but
my biggest question to you, what would you say to me if I wanted to be to be more behind the camera?
Well, be very specific about where you want to be behind the camera. When you say you want to be behind the camera, there are so many things to do behind the camera. Know exactly what it is that you want to do behind the camera.
I
And once
want
you,
to operate. I want to operate the camera and teach up people how to set up the set and stuff like that.
okay, well, do you have any connections in the business? Do you know anyone in the business?
Yeah, I work with people with performing arts, and I've been doing that for a while. So it's something that's what that's something that I really want to do besides my music. And I also am a producer, so I love doing it all. And I just I would love to stay in touch with you if I can. And
Oh, absolutely. Antonio, the best thing to do is to, within your own circle, speak to the people that you already know and ask each one of them if they know the people that you need to reach out to, and be very specific with where you want to go. And tell them what you want and be very specific about it.
Yeah, and I would like to leave you with a little rap if you would.
Absolutely. Today's the music day.
I love this.
Mind to hear it. Well, I'm gonna meet the bid. I just want to let you know this is the craft that I love, and I've always loved that. But you know, bid on meet the bid is a fine challenge in my life, but it's something that I will never forget. Because David is a person that I will always love and remember me. So just remember this rap, and I want you to know that I will always love performing arts, regardless of the Zimmerman back. So just to let you know, I just want to let you know I'm a real person. I want people to know me for me.
Oh, that's nice.
Beautiful. That's poetry. Poetry. Thank you, T. Love you.
Thank you.
I mean, Richard, I want to thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I want to end I want to end this visit off by asking you a question that I asked, or I was given from my acting coach and my dear friend Corey Allen, and he would always ask us at the beginning of a class, "What do you want the most at this moment in your life?"
Professionally or just in life?
Life.
In life, I want people to get along. I want this discord that's going on in the world to stop. I get upset thinking about it.
Yeah.
We're so divided in this country right now. And the fact that people, when someone says something that you don't like, people want to cancel people. People want to erase people. People want to shut them out. I just want to get back to celebrating each other and liking each other, and you know, what happened where we are so divided in this country. You know, several years ago, I went through a really, as wonderful as this business, I went through a horrible lawsuit. I signed a contract with a guy who we discovered through my discovery process did this to many people in the business. He is a lawyer himself. I signed a contract with the producer, and little did I know that with each performance that I was doing,
Right.
his vested interest in my show was increasing, and by a certain number of performances, excuse me, he essentially owned my show, and a show that I had written, created, and spent 20 years producing and performing.
Yeah.
So I was asked to go out to Palm Springs to do a show, and the venue received a cease and desist notice that I could not do the show out there without going through him. And that's when I found out that aspect of my career was over. And so I spent literally 7 years almost fighting for the rights to my show. And through this process, it was, a total learning curve to really start all over again, and really having to reinvent myself and to go after. And there was no reason for him to do what he did, except he wanted to own something that he didn't create himself. And he thought that he was going to take my show and franchise it and get other people to do this show that was working because of me. And so it's something that I've been working towards my whole life was gone like that. And I had to start over again. So at that time, it was, I realized that so many people go through life. I remembered what I was going for with this.
Yeah.
As I was going through this and I got my attorneys and everything, when I was asked to go to court, I showed up in court and I was there. And here we are with, regardless of what side you're on politically, everyone, I am seeing major people get subpoenas and just don't show up in court. They feel like, I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to do this. And it's like a slap in the face of all Americans who were taught, if you were called in for jury duty, if you're called in for this, you do the right thing and you show up. Regardless of whether you feel that you're guilty or innocent or anything, that's not the point. It's a court system that says this is what you're asked to do and you follow through. And again, I'm not getting political here, just doing the right thing in this country anymore. And that's what I want to get back to. That's what I want people to support each other and to celebrate each other and to be there for each other instead of constantly tearing each other down. That's what I want.
Well, we got what we wanted today, and that was to have you here.
Anytime. This was great. I love meeting everybody. It was just so much fun.
Well, it's a joy to have you here, and I'm gonna get it to where we can all be together, and we'll take a picture together with
good.
Richard, and we'll do like a count of 3 kind of thing. Here we go.
Good.
I'll get this on, and then we'll do on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Beers, Mr. Beers, Mr. Beers. Come on, yo, we on Zoom. So meet the biz with the Zimmerman and special guests over here for so well. We got everybody over here on the Zoom with a boom. Yeah, that's how we do it.
Oh my God.